Oh, One Love and Wellness, Love plus Art equals Wellness. I actually have the signal was going bad. Didn't know that it was still on, even though it closed out on me. There's an eye in the sky nearby. No fish cleaning here. Well, see if I can turn this around so that you can see what's going on. Wellness. Okay, well, how about y'all just look at it this way? We're only going to be here for a moment. We are, oh, there's a hang glider nearby. Or is it a hang glider? It might be some sort of formation or something carrying something, some sort of carrier carrying something. And this guy is still in the sky, keeping his eye on something, whatever that is. Okay, and oh, that thing that was coming my way, that was carrying something. Don't know what that is. I don't know if you could see that. I wish I could. Let's see if I got a place to do to see how to turn it around. Here we go. Okay, this is how you turn it around. It's way over there. So there's a helicopter near it, and it's circling around. I don't know what's going on. I'm near military sort of thing, so it's probably not a good idea to be all into people's faraway activities. Let's stay in the moment. Let's stay in the time. Let's see if I can get you back on the other side. There we go. Okay, One Love and Wellness. Love plus Art equals Wellness. Part 2, which is also the finale of season 6. Okay, said that I felt an elevation. Got to the place where I was maxing out the current locations. So new locations and new partnerships, new team, new everything. So, but in the meantime, season 7 is me talking on the next level up, the season 7 level. Risen each season for various reasons. Even my first season was an elevation. When I felt it. And I moved it into the second season and the third and the fourth and the fifth and the sixth. Whew. And now the seventh. Seventh heaven, huh? The 7 layers of firmament. I have 7 brothers. Well, 777. Okay, so I said as above, so below. And just before that, I said, call it in the air. So the part 2 of call it in the air, this is part 2 of call it in the air, or call it, or heads or tails, call it. And I just say call it in the air because I do think, that's where you should plant your seeds. A lot of the energy is, this is fertile ground as well. This is depending on how energized you are, the place where you indicate what your intention is. And I actually have to pay attention that, my voice carries and there's a lot of things going on. And where I am is probably not the best place for me to be for any period of time, just long enough to say, hey, 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 one love and wellness. I'm definitely a water baby. Had to take in the water, had to be by the water, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you for hanging in there with me. So I was talking about as above, so below. And I think I will come from the below and go to the above because that's how you get down to this particular watering hole. You got to go up. You got to go up the hills and up you know, and make your way up. So I'll talk about the making the way up. You know, this movie, Sinners. You know, there was a TV show, Sinners and Saints. You know, there's all these other shows that we see that are indicating things to the public, telling us a little more each time about things that, if we start to grasp it better and better, can be used as ammunition tools, you know, training, introduction, you know, things into our vocabulary, things that you might have seen, but not necessarily would call it that until you see it in somebody else. I'm like, dang, you know, I do that too. That's me. That's my thing. You know, I keep seeing those numbers, or I keep seeing those people, or I keep hearing this word, or I keep, you know, the spirit did this and the spirit did that. And those are the ways that you can tap into your super sensitivities, utilizing your second sense, set of senses, you know, the second sight, the first eye, and so many other ways that, you know, the gut feeling, you know, that sometimes you smell certain things, and that's an indication. Sometimes you have super hearing, you have, you know, a way to hear things. You know, sometimes people have foresight, they can see things, you know, all the different super sensitivities that we can have, superpowers. It's time to, you know, not just be wondering and just activate those things because you've seen them. You know, as I've gotten older, I'm noticing that the longer I pay attention to these things, the more adept I become at recognizing when they're about to happen, when things are about to go in that direction. You know, I get to see the signs and symptoms and symbols and symbolisms as you know, more clearly, more sharpness, more being more open to the things that I might not have paid as much attention to before, because not only did I not recognize that that was a part of my being here, my tool chest, my resources of things to tap into. You know, not only was I not aware of those controls before I reached the place where my feet could step on the controls. You know, you can't really, you know, you as a child, you know, driving and your feet don't hit the I hope I don't have too much air going on in the background because it was hot, but I needed to cool off. So, you know, once your feet are able to reach the controls, once your hands are able to manifest the new levers, the new ways of handling things, you know, and the title of this is As Above, So Below. So my thought is, you know, and there's always this and that. So this heaven to me, okay, the heaven that I see, that what's heaven to me might be hell to somebody else, because I'm in my slice of heaven right now, but I know it wouldn't be necessarily the thing that other people, a lot of other people, most normal people, most people that I know, that's not their heaven. That's not what they get their pleasure, their kicks, and their, you know, and their giggles about, you know. So that's how I define heaven. That's the same thing with, you know, how do you define love? You know, love is in so many flavors and in so many, you know, versions and ideas. And I might be able to go over there and sip out of water. I'm not sure. I really don't want to prolong where I'm going to. I'm just trying to take the long way so that I can talk to you guys before I get there. And as I pass all these beautiful waterways to sit at, that's my thing, y'all. That's my thing. It be like calling me, come to the water. You know, and I also do that ionic foot detox. And have I spoken lately of my jewelry? I am Precious Mother Love. Love plus art equals wellness. Heart Happy Hour Season 6 finale. And I'm Precious Mother Love. So I thank you for joining me. And if you heard my last broadcast or my last my last recording, and I was talking about heads or tails. Energy isn't good or bad. It's really what you do with it. Energy as it is whatever it's a part of. It's everything is everything. That's my main look. I parked in the daggone shade. Everything is everything. So you can utilize it for the right reasons to do the right thing, and that becomes the good. What's good for me, my taste buds, what I taste, what's good in my mouth, my taste in men, what's good to me, was I prefer on my plate. All these different choices, the way we choose things, it makes a difference. And so when you say as above, so below, so as much as you are willing to do to get on a higher note, at some point you might have been just as willing to not do the right thing or to do something that wasn't the right thing. I was in some pretty deep spaces and places. For me to come to a place now where I can flip the script and be on the other side of that, like I would not have I wouldn't say I would go back and do anything different because I'm getting something good out of it. I'm getting the higher my higher self is in a happier place than I was when I was thinking of doing things that were nefarious or that were not for the best of all. Or, I used to be a mean son of a gun. I mean, I've had some really treacherous things happen. I spoke to someone yesterday where they were talking about some real dangerous things they've been in. I'm like, whoo, you lived a dangerous life. I didn't even want to talk about the things that went on in my life because it paled to what they were talking about. So, but when I think about it, not comparing it to nobody else's, whatever, I feel like I deserve to take the high road now. I deserve to get to a better place. I've been through enough of the rough side that the rise now is, whew, it's a breath of fresh air. It's a beautiful change of heart, change of mind, change of lifestyle, change of energy, change of, I mean, when people ask me, how am I doing? Fabulous, wonderful, and marvelous. I bring that. That's the energy that I hold on to. I'm fabulous, wonderful, and marvelous as much as I can. Without pushing it down people's throats. I am a bit much on a regular basis, but season 7, um, I'm gonna have to take a break for about a week or two and really right size my delivery. I have a couple of people that I'm working with, a couple of things that I'm working on. Um, and this is the right time for me to move to season 7 because everything is changing. I am having a hard time holding it in the same space that I used to hold these other things. And I say the other things, well, whatever it was that I replaced all these new things with, I don't even want to remember all of them, but I know for one thing that, you know, I was in the incubator. I was in a cocoon. I was in a place of growth. In 2014, I took I took on a initiate position with the Empowerment Center. And within that energy and that environment, the Empowerment Center was able to assist me in all the lanes I would prefer to assist another business. She did everything that I needed to do. I was a mentor, rites of passage, leadership group, mentoring youth. I did event planning. I did marketing and sales. I did even some property management or caretaker of property for a little bit. But I did a lot of things. I was trained in all these different things, and uh, my resume was included in a lot of the grants and things that we were participating in. We even had a camp that we did for, it started as just for Kwanzaa, but then it ended up being 3, 4 times a year. Every school break, we would do an out of school activity until Jabberwocky time came, and it was really zoomed. And then not sure what the last or what the next year will bring, but um, I've been very um, purposeful with my energies, with my training myself to these next levels. And to get to these next levels, I mean, divinity schools, a couple of them, mystery schools, a couple of them, various modalities, various, like martial arts and various disciplines of things. So by the time, I get to where I am now, I've been trained by masters, even in my sleep. Ah, how you do that there, huh? Well, Yogananda Paramahansa came to me in a dream, and he tested me 3 different times. And each time he raised me to a new level until finally I was at the temple level, and he rewarded me within my dream a necklace that I came back to this reality with in tangible, wearable matter. So I guess I better move myself along. I don't know what my GPS is talking about, but hey, Sunmi, hey, Riz God, hey, how y'all doing? Where y'all at? Where y'all from? I am on actually the side of the road because when I need to talk, it becomes urgent, and my all my sensitivity said pull over, and I'm on the side of the road. Ain't that something? The side of the road. I do what I need to do when I need to do it. So the last thing that I wanted to share, as above, so below. So I rose to these levels, trained with these people. I'm at a new place where I am very mutable. That is my sun sign, Virgo, flexible, mutable. Um, and I am a very observant vessel. So as much as I know that I continue to observe and expand my horizons, I will continue to try to share that with you guys. Now, the last conversation that I had, where I was saying I was going to do a finale episode, the last thing I wanted to do was just share, how these times come about that I have these conversations. It came about when my pops passed, and I was elevated to a new level. It came about when I started meeting all these new people and all these training grounds that I've been on, all these different organizations, all these different groups that I come across. I start spending time with them and start being able to recognize little things in them, signs and symptoms in them that I notice about myself. And so then, we begin to tribe up. I am it, which is Indigenous Aboriginal Man in Trust, was started in 2014. That was when my journey really started taking a more direct shape. Didn't know it till now when I look back on it. Like, you were really purposeful. You were really digging in. I was really thirsting. I was thirsty for more of God, more of me, more of myself. I needed to know myself well enough to know that there was a goddess in me that needed to take the front seat, that needed to take the driving wheel, that needed to take more control. And that goddess has begun to develop wings. So, this is, what do you call it? Traveling is also called dream something, but esoteric traveling. I forget what all these things are. Look, I don't care what the things are called, because of the fact that so many times I don't know what it's called, but things be happening. And because I know that these things be happening, over and over again, various circumstances, scientifically picking it apart, learning it as best I can, sharing it as much as possible. Okay, this time I'm in the shade, and this time I'm gonna be able to put my GPS on. But I just thank you for joining me today. I just want you to know that I will continue to share as best I can. These movies are really taking us to new places. These TV shows are taking us to new places, new heights, new expanded ways for us to consider to think. A lot of the information that's in there resonates in certain ways. Some of it doesn't, but wherever it resonates with me, I lock and load. I sink it in. It sinks in, and then it connects to all the different other, things that are pointing in that direction, so that now I can line it up, and then the big picture seems to get bigger, and I'm able to see more and more magnified view of things. So that's all I'm saying, is that the more you get into the science of yourself, the more you will see the multiple dimensions, the multiple layers, the multiple levels, the multiple frequencies, the overlap of things, see how much you control, see how much you influence, see how much you're able to identify yourself in others. Because they're around you for a reason. We're all here together for a reason. We have some common purpose that we're here for, whatever that big common purpose is. Overstand that we gotta, can we just get along? Even though we can segregate, I don't mind that, but I just want to make sure that we start to take away the whatever the lines of distinctions are. Underneath of it all, it's all energy, and the more you can pay attention to the energy of things, and the and energy management for yourself, the more you'll be able to identify why you're here and what you're doing. And that's on the real for me. I've been lost like a high ball in weeds. I mean, a lost ball in high weeds sometimes. But sometimes I'm just going by what the spirit is telling me. Sometimes I'm just driving where the spirit says pull over. Sometimes I'm at the place where I can't do anything but listen to the spirit, because when I don't listen to the spirit, wanky things continue to, find me. And so I got to be a lot more, it's been a lot more purposeful for me. Even my downtime and my alone time and my idle time is more purposeful, more filled with being on purpose, being mindful, paying attention to the little things. I even have things that I hear like in the wind sometimes. Ooh, it's the expansion is just amazing. People that call me, people think I got all the things that's on my mantra, all the things that I continue to tell myself over and over and over again for the years that I was doing it. I had it in writing, I had it in a dream board, I had it in all these different ways, writing it here and there, listening to it, recording myself, all those different ways of letting it sink into myself. All those things are happening, and just I just got to keep my ears and my eyes open, keep my head on the swivel, because I will miss a sign if I don't pay that kind of attention to what I want to see. And it's just like when you get a red car, you don't notice all the red cars until you get a red car. That's why you got to act like you got the red car already, because then you're going to start seeing all those red cars, and then you can become one of those red cars, right? Anyway, so one love and wellness. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Season 6 was awesome. Season 6 was great. I was able to do a lot of talking, a lot more than I thought. It was longer than season 6 was longer than season 5, and season 5 I felt the elevation. So we are at season 7. The premiere will be coming up very shortly. I don't even want to say when it is, because the way things go with me, I will do it tomorrow, just because I said in 2 weeks. Just all of a sudden, or overnight, I'll get all the downloads and have a full episode. Just that today, both of my episodes were off the top of my head. And it fell right into place. I didn't think about it ahead of time. I just said, oh, and I had this gut feeling in me. I had this anxious feeling like I really had something to do. Like, really, I felt like I had a dump that I needed to do. And funny thing is, I did dump. I dumped it right on you. I dumped it right on you. Okay, so now I got to do the GPS. So in the meantime, thanks again. One Love and Wellness, Love plus Art equals Wellness, Heart Happy Hour, Season 6, Precious Mother Love. I'll see you next season. I hope you had something that you liked out of this. Like, subscribe, share. One love and peace. One love, one love. You're lucky just to have just one love.